I don't hope. I think I just said that live. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Deadhead Podcast, episode 32. We're sorry we're late. We had a lot going on a couple days ago. I asked Jan if he was okay
Still
with
do.
putting the show away. Yeah, it's still nuts. I was just talking to him. It's been a crazy wild ride these past 2 weeks, but it feels good to be here. We're not going to be here for a super long time. We're going to be here for a good time, at least for the next hour and 15 minutes or so. So, with that being said, Jan, how's it going? Talk to the people. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, well, I mean, just as you said, we've been in a bit of a crunch lately. I'm trying to get my degree. I know I said this like 1,000 times on this podcast, but now it's actually happening. And I was not prepared for it, no matter how many times I repeated that to myself over the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's here, I just realized that I'm completely unprepared. I got a shit ton of, backup work to do before I actually get it. I actually even get to start working on my final thesis and all that. So it's been kind of rough. But I have my roommate and BFF who's also in my same situation. So we kind of, we're trudging to it together.
Yeah, you cry together. Gotcha. You cry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the power of friendship and all that. And
yeah.
And sometimes when I find the time, I play some Resi 5, dude. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll say more about it, later on. But I'm not sure if it's like the best way to spend my free time. Yeah, well.
Oh man.
What about you?
All right.
Keep that related.
It's no, yeah, definitely. Oh, it's been again wild ride. I've stayed up. The only time I've really been able to play any kind of games is during the night. I have not been sleeping well at all. So I'm like, screw it. I'll just play Starfield. Right, it's a huge game, and this is the perfect time to do it because it's like no distractions, no interruptions. Been playing a lot of that. Surprisingly, I've been playing some Final Fantasy 16 again. Actually,
well,
I don't know. I've just had this itch, and I've still had it like downloaded to my console and everything. So it's not like it was, I had to re-download it. But I knew they released the free update patch where you change Clive's gear set, like his what he was wearing before, and thank God for that because his new suit is awesome. I've been playing the challenges, the Chronolith challenges, and I actually finished them all. I finished all of them. Garuda. I was gonna message you this, and I know we're talking about kind of mentioning Starfield and Resident Evil today, but Garuda, that Chronolith challenge, that almost killed me. I almost lost my soul with that. I had such a hard time with that one. I would say I've played that one at least 50 times. I beat the other ones on the first try. The only one that I had an issue with besides the Garuda Chronolith was the Odin Chronolith at first.
Right.
But then when I got the hang of it and I started using the full, I forgot what the power move is. I think it starts with a Z, I think. And you use Odin's sword. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. When you start using that effectively, it gives you like 15 seconds worth of time. So I was just...
Oh, yeah, no, that is broken as hell.
I was milking that bad boy to the point where I beat it on my fourth or fifth try. That Garuda one, that one's terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Garuda's abilities are trash.
Dude, okay, so this we might sound like super ignorant saying this, but I've watched a few reviews that are not like about big companies, but like smaller YouTubers reviewing the game, and they all love Garuda. They said, "Oh man, as soon as I saw that special thing where you grapple onto the enemies, man, I just knew I felt the Devil May Cry fan in me just cry of joy." And I'm like, I mean, okay, I kind of get it because it lets you air juggle a lot. And air juggling is something that, action games fans do. Me too, if I were good at it. But yeah, but like all the other ones are so much better that I accept, what's his face? Thunder guy.
Ramu, yeah.
Yeah, no, his special move is trash. But
you think his special move's trash?
The one when you lock on?
I might have used it 5 times. Yeah, that's trash. Yeah, no, I thought you were talking about his. So like I think I'm interchanging special move and then the moves that take longer to recycle or refill.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, all of those are good, I feel like.
Yeah. Even Garuda's one where it's like a big tornado, and that's very satisfying when you can suck up like a bunch of enemies at one time into it. That's really what helped me beat the Garuda Chronolith was using that. And it was sucked all of them into it, and it was like giving me all kinds of like it was 12 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. but it took me at least 50 tries to beat that. And when I beat it, I
Damn.
actually beat it this morning. I woke up before I had to do some yard work today. Before I went outside, did some yard work. I was like, I'm gonna beat this shit today before the show. And I beat it with like 0.85 seconds left on the clock when I beat the final boss. And I was like, my hands were just shaking because my like I was going to ask you. I was making a joke with my wife last night. I actually brought you up. I was like, I want to know how the hell did Jan beat these damn chronolith challenges? Because he acts like they were just no big deal. I want to see what his controller looks like. I
Because
bet
they
his shit's
were.
like all cracked as fuck, man.
Dude, I told you my secret. I grinded the hell out of like I was level 50 by the time I took them on, and I had what's his face, the sword. Is that a sword? Götterdammerung? Is that a
Oh
sword?
yeah. That's what I
Yeah,
that's
I
what
had
I'm
that.
using, yeah.
What level are you?
49. I'm at
No, what's
49.
the issue?
I don't know. I was just kept having like I said, the only one that was giving me issues was Garuda. I don't know.
No, I get it. No, I don't like. I don't want to bring you down. Like, I commend your success. I'm just actually wondering what was the problem. I don't know, like maybe because
Maybe
I wish I could help you.
Maybe. Well,
Because
I've
I don't
already
remember.
beat it now, so it's nothing to really help. But
Well, no. Well, I meant maybe there was like some sort of key element missing here that
I
made it
think
much harder than it should have.
the only thing I can think of is maybe, and I'm not saying anything bad about like my intelligence, but maybe it's just taking me a while to catch on. Was like maybe it just wasn't. I wasn't using Garuda's. It's kind of like we were talking about when we talked about Final Fantasy 16, and you were talking about the chronolith challenges, and you said you liked it because it kind of shows you how to use the special abilities. Because
Right.
if you just spam the special abilities, it doesn't really do anything for you other than just use your abilities, and then that's it. Like it doesn't do anything for you. Sometimes you'll get a critical hit, but in other times you end up wasting it. Like I found myself wasting my abilities a lot, just like my timing was off, like in the Garuda challenge. I want to say it was like the second stage. There's like this guy, and he kind of looks like a knight. He has like knight armor, and he's really agile, and this dude's a freaking sponge.
The guys with the knives, the guys that go with
yeah. And so like I'm spamming like every attack I have on him, and I mean his health is like inching away. And that was the one that was hanging me up the most, was like, I can't get this guy to die fast enough just so when I get to the next stage, I have an adequate, because like beating everybody wasn't my issue. It was just running through it as fast as I can. And this past time when I finally beat the Garuda chronolith, it like, I just beat it by like the skin of my ball sack. I was able to do it. So I got it. I got the achievement. So I'm catching up with you, man. But I got like 3 trophies left. And then
what are you missing?
Obviously the 2 is just beat the game on Final Fantasy mode, and then you got the platinum trophy. The only one I'm missing is defeat a boss without losing any health. I don't have that one.
Yeah, okay, so a little tip. What I did is that don't do it on Final Fantasy mode. That's much harder. What I did is during my normal playthrough, well, at the end, you can go to the big monolith in the hideout, right? And there you can replay past boss fights. And what I did, I just replayed the very first one. Okay, it's very finicky because like the tutorial description doesn't make it clear what counts as a boss fight. But the very first time you meet the night guys with the knives in the forest, that counts as a boss fight.
Oh, okay.
Before that, you come across like a bunch of monsters you would think are boss fights, like the huge lizard or whatever. But no, that's a boss fight, and it's the easiest boss fight you can try that on. And I mean, so yeah, what I would suggest you do is just do that. And,
okay.
And for Final Fantasy mode, I mean, it's go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, like, so when you go to the Arid Stone in your hideaway, you can go to whatever boss you want, or like
you
different
play
levels.
any dungeon.
Yeah.
You can play any dungeon. So you gotta play all the dungeon over again, but it's like it's like the beginning dungeon. You plow through it probably, and you can skip all cutscenes and everything. It's gonna take like 5 minutes to get to the boss, and at that point, the trick is just to beat him without getting hit. And the only way to do it is to fucking do it,
Well, if you do get hit, can you restart from the beginning of the battle, or do I have to walk another 5 minutes?
No. I think you can just repeat a checkpoint.
Okay.
Just restart the checkpoint.
Okay, yeah,
And
I'll keep that
fantasy
in mind.
mode is just it's easy as hell. Like at least like I don't want to have like another chronolith situation here, but I
Oh,
don't remember having any issues.
oh, I do have another one. I do have another trophy I didn't get. The other one was so I think there's four altogether. I think the other one was maxing out all of my abilities, all the icon abilities. Where
Oh yeah, that's just a grind.
yeah,
That's just I mean that's the final trophy I got. I remember there's this if I remember right before the like in the very final zone. I don't remember the specifics of it, but after you beat Barnabas, whatever his name
hmm
is, you get to this level. It's a huge plane, right? You can see a
hmm
cast in the distance with
yeah,
that zone. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
So there. Okay, so there's a specific area. There's like some hyenas, like some fucking dogs, and if you beat all of them, they give you like a decent amount of AP. So what I did, just open a podcast. Well, you guys from home can open the Dead Hat podcast, but and I just put the volume down, just turn the volume off on the TV, kill those hyenas, got back to the war point, got to the hyenas, back to the war point, and that for like an hour or so more.
oh my
Wow,
goodness.
2 or 3 hours, and yeah, because it's like the amount of AP you need to max out everything is outrageous. By the time you do everything, like 2 playthroughs and 100% everything, you might be like 3/4 on your way there to max out everything. It's ridiculous. How
Yeah,
much you need.
that's what I was thinking. Like, because I was gonna ask you, like, because you finished on Final Fantasy mode. I was thinking like Jan had to have done this shit after he beat Final Fantasy mode because
Yeah.
like to get the bulk of your points. Like I know you might be missing some, but obviously you still get points, right? Still
Oh
AP
yeah.
points
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
you do
You
your
still
second
get
playthrough.
them, but I mean, by the time in your second playthrough, you're not really like maybe if you took your time and did in your first playthrough, you might get there. But in your second playthrough, you're not doing every single side quest. You're speedrunning. You don't get to the end as fast as possible, right?
Mhm.
And it's way more time efficient. Just get to the end as fast as possible. You get the
Yeah.
AP that you get from story missions, and then just grind it out.
Yeah.
Just grind it out, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would like to do it before the DLC, right? I was telling Jan through
Mhm.
on our
I
personal
can't
time.
believe that.
I couldn't believe it either because they were like, "Oh, this is a complete game. You're not going to have to put any money."
That's
into
right.
It.
Yeah, the
And
director was saying that, like, yeah, we're doing it old school, right? The thing you
yeah,
have on disc is what you get. Then you get a day one patch. Now they're adding DLC
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's it's crazy because I don't know if you look through our obviously follow us on. Oh, sorry, let me call it X. It's not Twitter anymore. Be sure to follow the Deadhead Podcast on X now. If you go on I'm talking to you, Jan. If you go through our personal page and you look at the people that are on there, because you'll have obviously, even if we're not following that person, you'll have people that are just talking about games, things like that. There's a huge audience for Final Fantasy 16. Like, there's people that love this shit. They love this story, love this world, and me and you over here are just like, yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean,
It was all right. I mean, what we did more specifically was just shit on it for an hour. And then went, but it's a good game, actually.
Yeah.
Like in truth.
Yeah, it's like going back and playing these Chroniclith trials. I have to admit it, I'm actually pretty satisfied with the combat. Like, when
Awesome, dude.
when I wipe out like 10 guys at one time, it's like it actually feels pretty nice. I'm not even gonna front.
Yeah,
It
no,
feels good.
honestly, like the only thing besides what we already said about the game being too long for what's essentially a Devil May Cry game, right? I really don't like the cooldown moves. I would much rather have like weaker moves that don't have a cooldown, and I have to get like creative about using them, rather than just waiting for the cool move to charge up, then use it and then wait for it to charge up again. That kind of kills it for me. But yeah, but I agree. Yeah, good game. I'm actually kind of excited for the DLC. I wonder what they're gonna do. Are we gonna play as other characters? Yeah.
I would think so. I know they're keeping them pretty hush. Obviously, I think one of them has to do with Shiva. Not Shiva.
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
They even have Leviathan the Lost.
Yeah.
They added that one line in there.
Yeah, they are strongly hinting at that. Obviously, like they set that up for a reason. You don't think they had DLC in mind from the jump? They say, "Oh, well, we don't need that. This is just an old school game." Bullshit. Why did you mention the Leviathan then?
You know what? Okay, you know what I thought. Okay, if you want to be as optimistic, as non-cynical as possible,
Hmm.
I think they were open to it, but they didn't want like as if they would be happy. They were completely happy with not having DLC, right? Take what they can get.
Right.
But they left the window open, right? They didn't shut it close, and then they saw how much the game, how well the game did, and they were like, yeah, we're taking that out. We're milking this cow for as much as we can. So,
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's got a huge backing, so good for them. It's we'll definitely be playing it. I'm sure we'll do episodes on the podcast for it. I think me and Jan are overall. You might look back at our episode and be like, man, they really shitted on this game. But overall, like I think we both said it was a good game, and I wouldn't be playing it right now if I didn't think it was decent. I don't know, something just is pulling me towards it, and I've been having a blast playing it. The times that I've been playing it. So.
Oh yeah. I can totally see myself playing it again in the future, right? It's not one of those games that I just forget about.
Yeah,
it has that something, that special something.
Oh, and I'm telling you, Ray, man, 60 FPS it's really smooth on PS5 now. Yeah, it's super smooth. So I definitely think a playthrough. I needed to take a break from Starfield, which we'll finally get to a little bit of the topics for the day, and I'll let Jan give his piece on Resident Evil 5 because it seems like to me he's not really having a great time. But Starfield, it's interesting, right? I made a video on our channel. I put 12 hours in, and it's getting good reception. By the way, let me say this before I start. We have almost 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We have 90. We just reached 90 today.
No shit. Holy
so
smokes.
thank you guys for checking out the channel, checking out the podcast. We really appreciate it. No, it doesn't seem like a big number, but I'm really proud of it.
Dude, if you think about it, like 90 people want to watch us. I mean, that's a lot. I feel like today's world kind of makes us not realize how big those numbers are. Like, imagine 90 people. Like, you have like a stand-up comedy thing, like in a small bar, and 90 people show up for it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I'm very proud of how far we come. So channel's doing good, and I really appreciate you guys checking out the podcast and the videos because I try really hard on the videos. We try to do our best we can on the show, so we really, really appreciate it. But anyway, so I made a video 12 hours in on Starfield, and I was having a blast with it. I'm probably about 30, 31, 32 hours. I'm in that ballpark. I've been playing it like during the night most of the time, which is where a lot of my hours have come from. So I seen this guy on YouTube. He works for a channel called Game Ranks, and he does like a lot of like ranking videos and things like that. And he said it best when describing Starfield. It is a Bethesda game. And that's the best way to really put it. It's I've been having fun with it. I did have to put it down. Because one, I was getting a bit burnt out, and two, I got to a part that's infuriating me. I'm getting angry, so mad. So that's one reason why I started playing Final Fantasy 16 was just to get a break from that.
Detox.
So I'm pretty far into it. I've to be honest with you, just tell you how big this game is. I've only done 7 main quests. Everything else is side activities, like side quests, different faction quests, and everything like that. And the faction quest has been super fun. For a lot of you guys who know what I'm talking about, I'm almost done with the Crimson Fleet faction, and I've started now the Freestar Collective. And it's really cool, good story, and it's really entertaining stuff. But one thing I hate, and I don't know how Jan is in this. I'll be curious. This is where I'll bring you into the conversation. How do you feel about flying in video games, pit battles, and that kind of sort when you're playing a video game? How do you like those? Do you like those gameplay segments?
Well, I mean, is it the main draw of the game, or is it like the Gummy Ship sections in Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, yeah, I guess probably a good mixture of both, but I would lean towards it's a pretty big part of a game. I mean, if it's a pretty big part of a game, what do you think about it?
Well, I mean, if it's one of the main elements of the game, then I guess, it, it, like, how do I say this? If you're buying that game, you're kind of expecting to have a lot of driving, a lot of piloting, whatever,
Yeah.
however you say it, in the game. Why is it bad?
Mhm.
Like, does it have like inverted controls?
No,
'Cause I kinda
it
like
doesn't.
that.
It doesn't. It's
Maybe it should
it's
have inverted controls.
maybe. I mean, you could probably
Mhm.
switch it in the settings, but it's serviceable. But I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I hate ship battles in any game. People love Assassin's
Like
Creed.
spaceship battles?
I'm just saying in
Or-
general, like anything where you're driving a big ass like carrier, any kind of like a ship that you would sail on the
Mm.
ocean, or a fighter jet or a spaceship, like anything
Oh,
like
so
that.
it's not like
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, A Crack in Time, where it's like
Yeah.
a tiny ship and you get to
Yeah,
you get to
yeah,
shoot
yeah,
a bunch
no-
of other ships. It's not like that.
Yeah, not like
Oh,
that.
okay.
No, I'm talking about like these huge carriers. Like I'm a as you guys know and Jan knows that I like Assassin's Creed. I'm a pretty big fan of that franchise. At least I used to be. Not as much lately, but a lot of people's favorite Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you play as a pirate. That's one of my least favorite ones. And it's
Because of the
mostly
ship
because of
battles.
ship. I can't stand ship battles because I don't. I feel like I'm so limited on where I can move. I'm getting shot. I can't move out the way fast enough. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel
Mhm.
slow, and
Like it's
I'm-
more strategic. Is that the thing? It's more.
I guess, but I feel slow.
Mhm,
And I
mhm,
get
mhm.
it. Like I get it, right? Like I'm not driving a supercar here. I'm driving a ship. I'm driving a spaceship. But like I feel like, for instance, in Starfield, I've upgraded a lot of my guns on the ship. I've upgraded my shields. The ships are like super expensive in this game. So like buying a full-on like powerhouse ship is like almost not feasible because it's asking for like over 100,000 credits, which is the in-game currency, to get a ship in that game. And so I was able to steal a ship. I did steal somebody's ship that was better than my original ship. I stole it. I upgraded it. I'm still getting blown out the freaking sky, man. It's so annoying. You'll just be minding your own business.
What? They just attack you out of nowhere?
Yeah. And it'll be like a fleet come up and I'll try to fight them. And literally these dudes have like the AI in Starfield. And you know this because you've played Bethesda games, Jan. The
Oh,
AI
yeah.
sucks. It's not that
Yeah.
great. Let's be honest. But when you're in
Yeah.
a ship, they don't miss. They don't miss.
I
get blown out I get blown out the sky every time. I was so mad. I could feel the anger. I was so angry, Bran. And
like
there
the
was-
seeding, like the fume getting out of your ears.
Dude, it was so bad. Like I was so like I was again, I was talking about I joined this faction called the Crimson Fleet, and I'm towards the
Mhm.
end of the storyline. I'm on the last mission where there's like this all-out war in space. So it looks cool. It's something ripped straight out of Star Wars, man. You have fighter
Uh-huh.
jets everywhere and spaceships blasting each other. It's really awesome. If I go anywhere near the action, 2 shots, it's a wrap. And I was like, I can't take this no more. I cannot take. So then I said, fuck this. You know what? I'm just going to do a whole other quest. I'm just going to do another quest. Go do something else, right? This is Starfield. Let me go wherever I want to go. I go do another quest, right? And I need to get to this door. And, again, like most Bethesda games, there's always a lock, like unlocking locks, right? A lock picking in game.
I'm so glad that's still in there.
Dude,
That's my favorite part of Skyrim.
I like Skyrim's. I know you're joking, but I like Skyrim's mini game to open locks. This one is borderline a disgrace.
Well, what's
It
wrong
is
with
so
it?
stupid. Either I'm dumb or that's a bad gameplay design. It'll say it'll tell you before you open a lock like novice, advanced,
Okay,
extreme.
classic. I'm familiar.
I'm breaking all my lock picks on novice because I can't open a fucking door.
But what does it look like? Like, what do you do?
It's like, shoot, man, you're gonna have to look. I'll either have to share
Okay,
my
I'll look
screen
it
with
up.
you.
I'll look
Look
it
it
up. All right.
Yeah, see if you can pull up like a small like 15, 20-second video, and you'll see the lock picking. It is so dumb. It is so stupid.
Like I'm seeing these circles. Easier than you think. Circle locking explained as easy as possible. Okay. I'm glad we need like tutorials for this.
Yeah.
Okay, I found like a 40 mini about it. Wait.
Yeah, dude.
So
I've lost so many digi sticks. That's what it's called. I've lost so many of those. And I'm trying to get to the next part of a quest, and they need me to unlock this door, and I cannot unlock it for the life of me. So I had to quit doing that and go to another quest.
Okay, I sort of get it. I don't understand. How do you break digipicks?
Well,
How do they
you don't really break them. You more of just like if you let's say for instance, if I make a so I know you've seen pictures of it, but you pretty much see a circle and it's got like these little stems coming out of it, and there's like little slots on the inner circle. You have to line up those stems with the cutouts of the inner circle, line it up, hit A or it is A, sorry. Hit A, and it goes deeper into the lock. And you have to do this like 3 times. You have to line up these stems with these empty sockets on the inner circle. And it's an easy concept. But like you always end up having too many of the little stems left and not enough holes. So the only option you have is you either hit B and you get out of it and go back into the lock, or you have to hit X, which is essentially square on PlayStation, X on Xbox. You hit X and it'll undo what you just did. It'll undo the section that you just did.
Right.
But then it ends up fucking up again where there's not enough spaces. And so I have to back out of it, go back into it. It's just, I hate it, dude.
So you have to. So every time one of those little thingies get through a hole, they like disappear. So by the time you're in the final circle, you must have as little of those as possible. Did I get that right?
I think normally by the time you get to the last little circle, it shouldn't be no more than maybe like 1 or 2 left. But it's that middle section that's such a bitch, because let's say you start out with the first circle and you have like 4 of those little stems. When you get to the middle one, it only have like 2 slots open. So then you have to undo what you just did, slot your pieces again, and then most of the time you never have enough room. I know it's hard to explain. It's stupid, Jan. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like fun.
No, and you got to do it a lot. And so I'm trying to get to this room. I'm chasing down this person. It's like a bounty hunter quest. I'm trying to find this person, and she's talking all kinds of shit to me. She's behind a locked door, and I can't get through the door. So I have to go do another quest to find more digisticks. And again, I get my ship. I get blown out the sky again. I said, man, fuck this, dude. So I haven't played it since. It's been like 3 days.
So like I'm imagining this chick, right? This bounty hunter lady, he's like trash talking you through the door while you're fucking breaking your lockpick. So trying to
yeah. But other than that though, it's a good game. I see it getting some hate online. I think it's getting like review bombed right now. I don't understand that. I don't think it deserves that.
I'm so proud to be a gamer.
Yeah, dude. I don't. It doesn't deserve that at all. I think there's people that are. I don't know why they're still, Sony ponies and Xbox. I don't know why that's still a thing. Yes, me and Jan lean towards Sony. I think that's understandable. I like Sony just a bit better in a lot of ways. Not really just their games. I was a PlayStation guy since I was a kid. Like, it's just something that feels comfortable to me. But I like my Xbox just as much. Like, it's,
I mean, it's not really a question of, that's a problem with these console wars, you're going to call them that, or system wars now. It's not about people liking one system over the other. It's about people absolutely, not being able to accept the fact that other people don't like what they like. That's the main problem here. And I think that's a deeper issue. Like, it shows in gaming, but I think it's like a psychological thing.
Yep. But anyway, so it's a decent experience, and I put some good time into it, but I'm taking a break for the remainder of the week. I'm going to play something, if I have time, that is, play something else. But anyway, Resident Evil 5, talk to me.
Right.
Talk to the people.
Okay.
Why is it trash? Why is it trash?
Well, I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. So I went with it, and I wanted to have as much of an open eye as possible. Because, before I even touched a Resident Evil game, way before I even thought of touching a Resident Evil game, I heard stories about how Resident Evil 5 is when the series, just went out of the rails, and it became an action game. and it has nothing to do with the rest of the franchise. And then 6 doubled down on it, and it's even worse. That's what I hear. I haven't played it. And yeah, I've played it. I played it, for a pretty substantial amount. I played through it twice, once on normal, once on veteran, and now I'm playing through it on professional. I have a few words about that. But so I think I have the right, at least, to have an opinion about it. And that opinion is that, okay, so remember when I told you that Final Fantasy 16, I commended because I can't imagine myself playing it in the future, right? Well, Resident Evil 5 is not one of those games. Resident Evil 5 is one of those games that I'm just, I'm playing it now just because for the sake of playing the whole franchise. And I'm playing it all just to get all them trophies, right? Because it's something I like to do. But I cannot see myself like willfully putting myself through it ever again, unless it's because of the co-op thing. Because that's one thing that I didn't think I would like, but I do. I feel like it could be a really fun couch co-op game, like not one with randos. Something you play with a friend. You get on a second controller and you play through it. But here's the problem. I think that's only fun on your first playthrough. Like, I wish I've done that for my very first playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And every subsequent playthrough, all that I'm doing is just trying to get to the end. Because the combat is just, okay, here's the problem. It's not really tank controls, but it's not free flow 3-dimensional movement. You
That's
still push forward to walk forward. And now pushing the other sides doesn't make you turn around, makes you strafe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as useless. I can just turn the camera for that.
Yeah.
So it's still like, it's not, as you said, like you cannot move like you would like to. But the enemies are structured like, the action scenes and the enemy places are structured as if you could. Like, this game fucking swarms you with enemies. And I mean, of course, it's not, I'm not saying that it's difficult, because it's not. Enemies are really, they take their sweet time attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, they swarm you really fast is what I mean. So you're always like tiptoeing, you're always, pretty much shooting all the time. That's what you do in this game. And that's like, I feel like Resident Evil 4 had like the perfect balance between, like, it was still greatly different from like the classic Resident games, but had a perfect balance of, being very much, action heavy, but also pertaining that old horror feel, right? The survival horror thing where you don't have as much control of your character, and that's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of that sense of claustrophobia, holding the camera that up close, the sense of panic, because you have to press a bunch of buttons just to turn around and shoot a guy that's up in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Resident 4 did it right. I'm talking about the original.
Yeah.
Resident 5, I'm just like, it's either way too easy in certain sections because it gives you a shit ton of bullets. It gives you so much bullet, like, it's not even a problem. The only problem is the inventory system, and I'll get to that.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like,
what inventory system? What inventory system?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So it's way too clunky, like it's way too action packed to be, to be like a survival horror game. But it's at the same time, it's way too clunky to be a full action game. Like, even people shit on Uncharted 1 for being very clunky. Bro, play some Resident Evil 5. That shit is crazy. Imagine Uncharted 1, but every time you pick up ammo, like, you most of the times won't have like space for it, so you have to give up one of your guns so you have like place for ammo for your other gun. And this happens on a menu that does not freeze time like in other games. It happens in real time. So if you're getting swarmed or something and you're trying to pick up the fucking ammo so you can shoot the fucking enemies, well, you're pretty much in hot shit. And I don't know if it's me being bad, like, maybe, I should have thought ahead. I should have had a what? That a game's going to give me like 3,000 weapons. And like, what? I have to give one up? Well, I don't know which one to give up. I haven't played the game yet. I don't know. Well, maybe in subsequent playthroughs, that can be a point of strategy, right? Knowing which gun to keep for each section. But the first time, you're paranoid.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You don't want to put everything behind. And there is an inventory. So every time you finish a mission, there's like a main inventory. Every time you buy something, because there's a shop.
Yeah.
There's no merchant, but in between missions and in between checkpoints when you lose and you retry, you can buy a shit ton of like weapons, first aid sprays, ammunition only for certain weapons, which pretty much defeats a bunch of the challenge.
Yep.
And it doesn't go to your inventory; it goes like to a special separate inventory.
Yeah.
And you can put things from there to your main inventory, but you cannot put them back.
That's right.
And I actually thought I was missing something when I saw that. I thought, because I could not believe that was a thing. Because like these weapons, they're not just, again, I made to the analogy with Uncharted. It's not like Uncharted where you're picking weapons up all the time. No, if you give a gun up, that's it. I mean, you can rebuy it, but it's not going to have all the upgrades you sunk into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, so yeah, so the first playthrough is just not a good time. And when I said that the second playthrough could be more fun, because now you know what you're, and sometimes with Resident Evil games, that's the thing. Second playthroughs can be more fun in a different way, because now it's more about, thinking ahead, thinking, right, okay, what's the most optimal way to get through a room, get through a level? Well, this game had like a brilliant idea of giving you unlimited ammo when you beat the game once. I mean, granted, you have to grind for it. You have to fully upgrade a weapon to have the unlimited ammo option for it, which is ridiculous because the only upgrade you're going to need once you have unlimited ammo is firepower. Because like you're sure as hell are not going to need fast reloading or more gun capacity because like you cannot run out of bullets. But I guess, I mean, there was a way to keep it, but is it more fun when like upgrades of that are kept behind like challenges? Like, like getting a high, like a high score or beating game really fast. The only reward like that in this game is the unlimited rocket launcher, which you get by beating the game in under 5 hours, which I didn't have to try. I did it on my second playthrough on Bedrun without even trying. Why? Because I had the strongest shotgun with unlimited ammo and the strongest mag with unlimited ammo. I was pretty much mouthing through enemies. Like, this shit's ridiculous. Like, went from the inventory system went from being a nightmare for being completely inconsequential. I don't think I opened the inventory not even once, like maybe once to heal, or maybe not because I usually always have the co-op partner, like the AI partner, to keep all the healing items. And that's another fact. Like, I mean, I support the whole innovation thing because I think that's what they're going for. It's the co-op mechanic is a clear evolution of the, Ashley babysitting mechanic from Resi 4.
That's right.
But and here, of course, you're not babysitting your AI partner. They're pretty much sometimes they're even helpful, but it's just to make you wish you're playing with someone, doesn't it? Because like Henry Yang is just not fun. And again, this is my first playthrough. You'll see this a pattern. On my second playthrough, you really want to play with an AI partner because the more of you there is, like if there's two of you, there's just more people that can screw things up. Well, the AI partner, the only thing they have to do is just follow you. And I know I'm talking about it like in a really, as if, well, yeah, I mean, why don't you calm down? Why don't you why are you like speed running through it? Well, I'll tell you why, because it's not fun. Every time I start playing this game, I cannot wait for it to be over. I cannot wait to be at the end of the level. Like none of the boss fights are fun. The only boss fight that is tangentially fun is the one, like I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like an old ass game. There's like one at the very end. I think it's the next to last boss fight. It's like this huge monster, not with Wesker, the one before it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like this huge monster, like a month of blob. You have to shoot these glowing weak points. And you get this, what's fun, you get this special gun. Sometimes you get like special guns, like special weapons for certain boss fights. You get this one where it's pretty much like a satellite beam, or like the satellite beam is up in space. What you're doing, you have to, this thing you have, it's used to aim on it. So you have to keep it locked on for long enough until you actually you have like a clear enough target for the satellite beam to shoot. That is fun.
Yeah,
like 15 minutes that I had a lot of fun in that game.
All the while, like while you're doing that, you're getting attacked, right? So like while you're having to hold that on.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So you have to, keep enemies at bay. It's fun. You keep shooting out these little, these little babies. That's fun.
Yeah.
All the other ones are like horrible. Like there's this one at the very beginning. You have to lure it into like a chamber where you have to trap it and like then
Oh,
like
yeah,
cook it like
yeah.
an oven. You have to trap it in an oven, which is fine. I mean, I've seen it like 10 million gajillion times, and it's fun for a tutorial boss fight. Like all the water ones, I have nothing but like terrible thoughts about them. Like the first Wesker fight, we were playing hide and seek with him. Like, are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me? Or the Jill fight,
Oh God.
where you fucking, what is that fight even about? Like, you cannot hurt her. If you hurt her, your partner, be it Chris or Sheva, goes, "Stop! You're hurting her." Like, but you have to go. You gotta get behind her, which is awkward as hell.
Yeah.
And keep it on, and like keep her keep her steady. So your
Yeah.
AI partner or you like bring that fucking mind
Yeah.
washing brainwashing bracelet out of her, and I have to do that. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong because I have to do that operation like 10 million times.
Yeah. No.
Like,
I
you
mean,
have-
yeah. No. It's the same way. I've every time I've played that part, I'm like, my finger is killing me because you're like spamming.
Yeah, you have to mash the fucking button to get it out of her, and it doesn't work. I actually thought I was doing something wrong. At first, I thought, okay, so third time's the charm.
You can shoot it too. I don't know if you knew that. You can shoot it as well.
Yeah, okay.
But it's
I
hard,
learned
but
that
it's
because my
really-
AA partner started doing that.
Yeah, but it's hard though. It's because it's because
yeah,
it's
because if you
such
shoot
a
her,
yeah,
then you're in deep shit.
yeah.
What else is there? Oh yeah, so the first fight, the one that's like just a mash of like worms, you get to fight it again, but worse.
Hmm.
This time it's pretty much invincible. I don't know how you got through that fight. Because like it's pretty much invincible. You get like a flamethrower which does jack shit.
Yeah.
And it has like some weak spots, but all that does, if you hit them, it loses some limbs, which regains in like a minute or less.
Hmm.
And I kid you not, Dylan, I was on that fight for like half an hour.
Oh my god.
And I wasted all my resources on that. I did not know what I was doing wrong. It's also really hard to lose in this game
Mhm.
unless you're on the hardest difficulty, because when you lose, it has like the multiplayer co-op thing, where if you lose all your health, you start limping, and
Yeah.
your partner can like res you, and you can do it like over and over again. So I was not like losing; I was just wasting all my fucking ammo.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To this day, I don't know how to beat that fight. You know how I beat that fight today?
Well,
I buy a fucking rocket launcher and I rocket his face off. That's what I do. Which, by the way, okay, so in Resident Evil 4, that was like
Mhm.
one of the downsides where it didn't touch on. But like, you can buy a rocket launcher. There's like an unlimited amount of rocket launchers you can buy from the merchant.
mhm.
And they one-shot almost every boss.
That's right.
And it was relatively cheap for what you were getting, right? Like, as long as you got like some treasures to sell and you gave up on like upgrading weapons, you could pretty much buy a rocket launcher before every boss fight. Here, it's not even that. Here, the rocket launcher is even cheaper.
Mhm.
I was able to afford one like every time for every shit boss fight. Damn, I can afford them in stocks. I have like a whole arsenal of rocket launchers before like any fight that I know is gonna be
Mhm.
tedious.
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane, and I don't like it. but you know the thing is, I was not as negative about it during my first playthrough. If I
Mhm.
played it only once, like I didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones.
Yeah.
It's just not like, I hate saying it's not a Resident Evil game, but it's not what I signed up for, right?
That's right. Mhm.
Like it's not even like horror. Like when I say it's not horror, I mean it's not horror at all. Like it's clearly not designed to scare you at all.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, yeah,
it's-
because the game is based mostly during the day. I mean, that's for starters, right? That the game is mostly
I mean-
during the day.
Well, I mean, that's not even. I guess I haven't thought about it, but that's not the problem. The problem is that it's not the way the levels are structured. It's structured like an action game, You're just going from point A to point B, gunning down everything on your path.
Mhm.
You feel so empowered during that game. All the enemies are like little bitches. There's nothing to be scared of.
Well, I mean, look at Chris Redfield. I mean, it's kind of comes with the territory.
Okay, that is
Jesus Christ.
funny. That is funny. He's fucking punching zombies in the fucking face.
Dude.
I like that. I like that.
Punching the
There we
boulder.
go.
I seen your gameplay when he's punching the boulder.
You point the boulder. Yeah, when I got there, I was so happy because I forgot about it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I forgot about the thing, even though I saw it a bunch of times. Then
Yeah,
on during the final fight, you get to the volcano. I was like, oh yeah, oh
it's
hell yeah,
coming.
it's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, it's coming. The boulder punch.
Oh
No,
yeah.
well, okay, so maybe being a bit negative. I feel there are redeeming factors. Like I see some things like the co-op thing could be cool. I don't hate the direction. It's just something that I didn't sign. It's just something that I don't care about. Like it's so like some cutscenes actually cool as hell. It's like very nicely choreographed.
Hmm.
Like action scenes.
Yeah.
But it's just if I want some of that, I'll just watch like a B movie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what Resident Evil is, right? It's like almost like it that's I think that's its charm, and it has like a very B movie feel. Even the horror element ones. I mean, golly, I mean you know this more than anybody right now because you're playing through all of them. Like they have a very B movie feel about them, and I think that's the
No, that's
charm, right?
yeah, but no. I mean, they
That's why
do
I
definitely
love it.
have like a B. I mean, they do have like a B movie element, definitely. Especially like, but it was like more contained. It was like in the
Mhm.
dialogue, right? Like dialogues were always very wonky. Ironically, this one is the one with the most. I'm not gonna say well written, but at least the more consistent dialogue.
Mhm.
You don't have like crazy one-liners going left and right. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I feel like they kind of smooth it over. It's more standard. There you go. It's standardized. Like it's not something like with our games, with prior games.
Mhm.
You could hear a line and say, "Okay, that's like from Resident Evil game." Well, here, if you hear a line of dialogue, it could be really from any action game.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, right?
What? So like, not to cut you off. If you have something else you
No,
want to
uh,
add to that, what I was going to ask you was is that there's a lot of things, and again, this is not confirmed,
mhm.
but if you remember the ending of Resident Evil 4 remake, they
Oh yeah,
really lean into the fact of possibly hinting at
remaking
a remake.
RE5.
Would you? I mean, what do you think about that? Obviously, you'd probably check it out, right? I mean, you would probably check it out, right?
No, no. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think that there's like one game that needs a remake is this one. I think, and I'm not saying this like because I want it to be like the other ones. I'm saying this because okay, they gave a crack at it when they released this game. It was mixed, right? It didn't really go that well. Now to have like another shot at it. I feel like more than like we're seeing a lot of remakes of like good games, and it makes sense commercially, right?
Hmm.
Because like okay, it's what you love, but now modern. But I want to see remakes of bad games, like a meg of like not so good games. I want to see Resi 5 like shining through how it could.
The only problem I see from that is so like yeah, I think a RE5 remake would be beneficial. You're gonna make a ton of money off of it. There's a huge crowd of people that love this game.
Hmm.
And I don't love it, but I enjoy it. Matter of fact, I played it this past year. I played it earlier on in the year, probably around like the
Yeah.
March. I think around March this year, and I had some really intense from what I remember, and this might be TMI. I had some really intense bowel movements when I I remember I was at home and I couldn't do much, and I just felt so sick. But I was playing this a lot.
And that's when you play Resi 5 when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
out.
and I enjoyed my time. Okay, yeah, it wasn't really anything crazy, and I think I mentioned that the game is mostly based during the daytime. That
Mhm.
that kind of anchored my thinking on the game because I kind of when you think of like a horror centered game, you usually think nighttime, but this game, like you say, is obviously not. That's not what they're going for. But like
Mhm.
a remake, yeah, like you said, could be beneficial. The only thing I fear is the fact of are they willing to go Resident Evil 5? And if they're doing Resident Evil 5, are they going to do Resident Evil 6? Because you haven't even got to that point yet.
And
And
that's the
that
one everyone
game,
hates, right?
that
With
game is
5 has
pretty good. Yeah, like Leon's parts are okay. Like Leon in
oh,
that
there's
game.
Leon in that game?
Yeah, Leon's in it. Yeah, yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
And his parts are more horror centered. It's not still not very like scary, but it's more in that
Well, I
retrospect.
don't need it to be scary. I wanted the atmosphere. What did it feel like? I mean, imagine. I think I said this way before when I was playing RE2 remake
Hmm.
about how it's not about scary. It's about scary as in you're shitting your pants. It's more as in
atmosphere.
It's oppressive, right? It gets you in a certain kind of mood, right? You hear water, trickling through like a broken pipe. There's like thunder coming out through the window, and it's very dark. You watch every step, right?
Yeah.
As much as you're scared because you know that every hit is fatal, every misstep is fatal, right?
Yeah.
Well, in this game, as I said, you just gun down Lickers. Lickers, one of the scariest monsters in RE2. Here
Yeah.
you fucking, you're your bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, they're tougher than other enemies, but come on, like a few shotgun blasts and those.
Is there
fuckers,
is there one scene? I do remember one scene in Resident Evil 5 that I thought was pretty cool. And like you said, yeah, the Lickers are not shit compared to what they were. But when there's a part where you're walking through this hallway and there's like glass walls on each side of you, and you have Lickers all over the walls and stuff, and you have to walk down this hallway. I thought that was pretty cool. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I agree. Yeah, like if you walk and you're like kind of careful about it, you can actually avoid combat in that one. No, I mean, I guess I don't want to say I wanted more of that because it's clearly not what a game is about. That's why, okay, that's why I feel bad about my outburst before. It's sad that because like, it was, I mean, I knew it was what I was getting myself into, and I'm mad because I'm playing something that I'm not, because that's the thing, they were trying to do something very different with this one. And I think, I guess I get it. Yeah. I mean, that's like the fifth one. And if you count spin-offs, there's even more to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like I can't really blame them. I just, I have nothing. I got nothing. I feel like I may even have fun with it. Maybe I can imagine in a future, you have someone with me, like maybe you and I can like, play, make like a special stream sometime. We play through Resi 5.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like that could be. I feel like that could be fun, but that's a bit too spin-offy for me.
Yeah,
it's a bit. It's like because like imagine if you want to play through them. Like imagine if you want to experience the whole story, one through 8. Mm-hmm. Like the Whiplash from 3 to 4 is already like pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
But now this is like something you kind of, it's like an episode, like a TV show episode you want to skip over. Yeah. But you cannot because it has vital information.
Well, I think, that. But, one thing that I've noticed in the Resident Evil franchise, and I know you're fairly new to it, but something I've always noticed is like whenever Chris is involved, like it's always like ballistics, pedal to the metal, that guy that you just like, you bring to you if you want to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Leon Kennedy has always been my favorite because he's more of the agile survival horror specialist. You know what I'm saying? Especially after the events of Raccoon City and RE4. I mean, if you go back, like even if you watch any of the newer media that's come out, like any of the newer films and things like that.
I cannot wait to watch those, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I actually, there's a lot of them I haven't seen, but in a lot of those, when you see his parts of the movies or shows or whatever are always centered around more of the horror centered type of I almost said Final Fantasy, Resident Evil that you see. So like, I really hope that, and I know we're kind of going farther here, but in Resident Evil 9, whenever that eventually comes out, it's either Jill or it's Leon. I really hope it's either one of them two, not Chris. I don't want Chris. We've seen him enough. It's either Leon. I
cannot trust myself because I don't know what you're talking about.
It's Leon. It's what? What?
Because I haven't played 6, 7, 8, so I don't know how much Chris we get, and I have no opinion about the Chris.
Well, I will say this. So he's, without spoiling it, he's way more in it than either one of them two I just mentioned, than Jill or Leon. You don't play as him, but he is kind of like, he's been at the forefront not the forefront, but he's been heavily involved in the story for the past few games.
So he's like a protagonist almost.
Pretty much.
If you had to pick one. Because this is weird, because like in Resident Evil 1, I mean, who prefers Chris over Jill? Like, come on. Like Chris, he's such a, like I don't want to say bland, but he's pretty bad-dimensional. He's a hero, right? He's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
He had a bit of a transformation. He, as you said, he's the macho tough guy.
Yeah.
Punching everyone, even fucking bowlers. But
yeah. Yeah.
But
So
one thing I wanted to say,
yeah.
I wanted to touch on is Jill. I mean, what happened to her? Like, if they didn't, if they didn't call her Jill, I wouldn't have recognized her as such.
Hmm.
She dyed her hair. She has a ponytail. What
Yeah.
is up with that?
Yeah.
That's not my Jill. That's not the Jill. Some episodes ago, I told you how Jill was, my best girl here in Resident Evil, especially how it looks in 3 remake. Oh boy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
but like, what is this? I mean, I guess I accept her. I mean, she can do whatever she wants, to her looks. And I think I just don't understand it. Well, what were they going? I don't understand what they were going for in this.
Yeah.
Why
I
does she
don't.
look like that?
Well, it's kind of misleading too, right? Because she's not even in the game that much, but yeah, she's on the cover. She's
Is
on the
she?
cover. Yeah, well, some covers
She's
like
not on my cover.
so there's some covers like the one behind your face here on our thumbnail. There's a lot of times it's a cover like that where it has Chris and Sheva as a Sheva,
Sheva, yeah.
but the cover for their hard copy of the game has Chris and Jill in it. Yeah. I mean, there's some that have released with Sheva on it.
My cover literally only has Resident Evil 5, like in huge, and there's like a silhouette of Africa with a bunch of scrambled words, very horror like.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
You want to see it? You want to see it? You want me to go get it?
I mean, yeah, if you got it close to you, I don't want you to have to go too far for it. But...
Well, dude, it's my house. Like, it's gonna take me less than a minute. I'll be right back. Wait.
Yeah, I hear your car start up outside. Yeah, freaking Resident Evil, man. It's an interesting series, dude. It's if you guys haven't played it, what are you doing? It's corny. It's a lot of B movie action, but it is a decent. It's a good ride. It's a good ride, man. I'm excited for Resident Evil 9.
Sorry for the hold up. So
No,
there it is.
Let me see what you got. Huh.
Yeah, it's just you can see it, but it says like Kijuju. There's like a bunch of like scrambled times. It says Kijuju.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah.
And then notice something very funny. I have Resident Evil 6 already. It's like in the same thing. Like it's huge Resident Evil 6, but it's blue, and there's like spider webs and shit. But it's really funny. It's back here. It says, it says you will not be able to forget the fear. Well, you got that right, because I have nothing to forget. What fear are you talking about?
Are you playing it on PS3?
No, this is just for for collectors' purposes.
Oh, I got you. But
no,
so you bought it digitally.
Copy on PS4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Those are cool. Those are very basic ass covers, though. Yeah, the cover in the States is either Chris and Sheva or Chris and Jill. Chris and Jill. And Jill's
very misleading to have Jill on it.
Yeah, very misleading. Yeah, and she doesn't have blonde hair either. She just looks like how she does in Resident Evil 1. So
no way. I gotta see this.
Yeah, she's got her little cap on, and
no,
she doesn't look like she doesn't look like she.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's very misleading
here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's misleading.
Well, I mean, okay, so she doesn't actually look like in Resi 1. That is her more modern appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I mean. The more modern kind of take on.
Do you know that like in Resi 1, like in the Resi 1 remake, right? The HD remake, you can actually you can play with those with those skins, with those costumes, like the BSAA costumes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, actually, cool. Yeah, like I saw them when I was playing it, but I didn't know what it was until I played this game.
You know what sucks? I know you can, in pretty much all Resident Evil games, you can change the outfits on your characters and stuff. I know that some of them provide perks and things like that, but I hate doing it because on my third or fourth playthrough of RE4 remake, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change Leon's outfit. I'll put him on the blue jacket. It's like a blue jacket where he's got his sleeves rolled up a little bit.
Okay, is that the standard outfit?
No. It's like a bluish green jacket with like a lion logo on the back. But he's wearing like skinny jeans, man. How is he doing these kicks with skinny jeans on? It's so immersive.
Well, I mean, Oh yeah, it is immersion breaking. Yeah, I mean that's kind of a trade-off. Yeah, no, I mean, have you seen the costumes in Resident Evil 5? Like they're ridiculous.
Yeah, they're
You
pretty
have like
bad.
I mean, but I like them. I think they're so ridiculous that I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Like with Sheva, you get like a little Red Hood outfit,
Mhm.
but with like fucking a huge boob window.
Mhm.
And you collect all the hidden emblems. The ones you have to shoot. You
Mhm.
get a tribal outfit for Sheva, which is pretty much she's wearing like a bikini pretty much, but it's like a leopard bikini.
Mhm.
For
All right.
Chris, you have one where he's called Heavy Metal. He's like he has no shirt, like shirts off. He has like these leather straps with spikes coming through it, like in a cross here, and he has like sunglasses. I'm actually, that's really fun. I like it because, like, as you said, they are immersion breaking. So since they're going to be immersion breaking, make them as ridiculous as possible.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, like, and I tried it for like, I don't know, like maybe an hour of playtime on Resident Evil 4 Remake, where I was wearing the Virgil, I think it's Virgil, the Virgil cosplay suit in the game, where Leon's hair is like black and it's like really long, and he's got like red eyes, and he's like wearing
True.
black
Are you talking
everywhere.
about the remake?
Yeah. Have you ever played Devil May?
Memory of these.
Have
Of
you ever
course I
played?
Devil May Cry.
Have
Yeah,
you ever
yeah,
played Devil May Cry 5? Have you played that? Devil May
Yes,
Cry 5?
sir.
All right, so the character, I think his name's Virgil, isn't it? The one with the black hair who doesn't really do a lot of physical
Virgil
attacks.
is Dante's twin brother.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The guy with the katana and everything. Yeah. Are you talking about? So Nero also has white hair. He has the sword you rev up. The guy with the black hair that looks like Adam Driver is the one that summons the shadows and all.
Yeah,
Is that who you're talking about?
I thought that was like a cosplay of him that if they're like for a costume for Leon, but maybe I'm wrong. That's what it reminds me of.
Well, let me see it. The villain one.
Yeah.
It says villain. Oh man, I haven't tried any of these. What the hell? Because they're DLC. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's. I mean, it might be a reference to something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and now I see the one you're talking about, the casual one.
Yeah.
Oh man, these are so fun. I haven't seen any of these.
Really?
Yeah. No. Well, like if you don't have DLC, you only get a few. You get the armor costume for Ashley, which actually has a perk. She can't.
She can't get damaged, and she's like really heavy too. So like, no one can pick her up. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get the pinstripe one for Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the one he's like a mafia mobster.
Yeah.
Kind of dude.
Yeah, I'm working on another playthrough of that too. I've played that game so much. I haven't obviously 100% of the game or anything, but I have played it a lot. It's an absolute blast. But I don't know, man. It's one of those things. I think we're in a weird time when it comes to playing games. I think it's just with everything going on. We're just so busy. And then I don't know, games are just not quite hitting the same right now. I will say this, just to get off Resident Evil for a second. I know we made a whole episode dedicated to this, and I was not looking forward to it, but something in me has made me look forward to Spider-Man a little bit more. I'm not excited, but I am looking forward to it because I'll tell you why. All the games I've been playing, while they've had decent story beats, I have not been able to play a good narrative-driven game in a long time, like a really narrative-driven where I actually give a shit about the story. So I'm, at least for nothing else, I'm looking forward to playing Spider-Man to just get the story because I missed that. I almost thought about downloading God of War Ragnarok and playing through that again just so I can feel something. I'm almost like Nicolas Cage in Spider-Man into Spider-Verse. Sometimes I just what did he say? What's the line? Sometimes I just put my finger. I know what it is. Sometimes I just put my finger in a flame just so I can feel something. That's where I'm at right now. Like, I just want to download something. That way, at least I give a shit about the story because I like Starfield, but the story seems kind of generic to me, the main quest line. And the other stuff's okay, but it's nothing like pulling me towards the story.
Like, hard hitting.
I cannot wait to see what happens next. I have not felt that in a long time, man. So I'm ready.
I hope you find something like that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in games, it is pretty rare. Like it's only like the very high quality ones that have very good narrative. Not
Yeah.
only very good narrative, but very good narrative that's like very well woven into the gameplay. That's also very hard to pull off.
That's right. Yeah.
And speaking of which, the story of Resi 5 is, I mean,
You like it?
Shava's cool. I mean, again, it's like a B movie plot, and I know you can make that. You can say that for any Resident Evil game, but like with others, at least it had some cutscenes that were very memorable, like some moments that I would gladly watch again. Resident Evil 5, there's really nothing like that.
Yeah.
There's not a single cutscene that I'm really, looking forward to watching again. And I have watched them all twice, just so I didn't make sure I didn't forget one.
Yeah.
The only one that's like remotely stuck in my memory, were like the action scenes, which, as I said, they're fun to watch. And the very final one, when you throw 2 rocket launchers at Wesker, and like Sheva is like really going off, like she's going off. She's saying, "Take this, you stupid motherfucker, piece of shit, son of a bitch." Like she doesn't say all that, but like she starts cussing him really hard. It's really funny. I like Sheva. I'm sad that I'm pretty sure we don't get to see more of her later on.
Yeah,
they should make a good addition.
I know they don't even mention her anymore. You can tell that she was just kind of thrown in there because 1, she's kind of hot, and 2, they needed to have a good companion system, and they didn't know who to put in there. So it was like, all right, we'll just create this.
You know what I like to think? I like to think that like they were thinking about the companion system the whole time. And the idea was that Jill was going to be the companion, but then they remembered the Jill in the story is supposed to be missing. They're like, fuck, shit, how did you know? It's like the day before release. I'm like, fuck, what do we do?
The day before release.
And so they make up Sheva. Which I mean, if it is true, if she's like an improvised character, just to have an ally, I mean, that's as good as they get. Well, she's pretty likable.
Yeah, she doesn't have much to do, but she's fine.
Yeah, of course, because there is no story. Like the whole story is just Christian Sheva just running around.
Yeah.
Asking questions, and then shooting second, and until they get to Wesker. That's the whole story. Then they kept like hyping up, like while we were watching the cutscenes, during the first cutscenes, they keep hyping up this big secret. Like, oh man, what are they gonna do with this virus? Like, what do you think? And then they're like, oh my god, they want to spread the virus to the entire world? Are they crazy? Like, oh shit, like what? Like, is this supposed to be like a big plot twist? I don't understand. It's like the 5th time we tried to do this.
Well, what's crazy? I mean, like, there's so many different like variations of like the same type of virus that pops up all throughout Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah.
What is this one? What's this one called? The progenitor virus? What is it?
The progenitor.
Progenitor. That's it. I knew of something.
But the project is called Ouroboros. You see, I mean, you know what? I kind of like that part. The lore part, I kind of like. You can like read some files here and there. And by the way, the files here are so long. They're so. I don't know if you ever stopped to read one.
Yeah.
Like it's like 10. They can be up to 10 pages. Like you can totally tell it was like. Maybe it was because it was improvised, because they realized they could not cram the lore into the cutscenes, or maybe it was because I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to have too many files lying around, because again, you're supposed to go fast. It's a co-op game. Because like you're not gonna be staying around, solving puzzles and shit. But like the story was okay because like they managed to tie in. I always wondered how the story of Resident Evil 4 was gonna tie in, right? But it kind of made that because like, the idea is that this virus that is present in Resident Evil 5, which is turning all the Africans into Majins, is a kind of a bettered version of Las Plagas. And they actually mentioned it before they actually call it a progenitor. They call it Las Plagas Type 2.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and Chris mentions this like this sounds like a lot that came out of the Leon report. Yeah, the Leon report. Yeah.
I kind of like that he says that. He says the Kennedy report. See, that was the beginning when it was still into the story. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
And it was never thrown out of it. They're just, as you said, there's not much of it.
Ooh, I got a cheeky question for you because I know we don't have a whole lot of time left, but I figure I'll ask you. You know how we do things over here on the Deadhead Podcast. We don't get into politics all that much. However,
I know what you're gonna say.
You said something and it made me stop. You said Africans. Okay, you said Africans. Now we're just being honest here. you kill a lot of, black male turn zombies here. Do you think that stays in the remake? If they do remake this game, does that stay? I mean, what do you think? I mean,
I mean, it has to.
yeah, right. Okay.
Like, I mean,
You're
well,
racist,
I mean,
but okay.
you're right. Yeah, and I'm a racist pig. But I mean, actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw them for a loop. So, what are you telling me is that it's okay to kill a bunch of infected Spaniards, but it's not okay to kill a bunch of Africans? Like, what does that tell about you? Like, what?
That's not racist.
Yeah, that's not right. They're white. It's okay. You can kill as much of them as you want. Now, if they were South American, now that would be another story. But since they are, like Spanish-speaking Europeans, that's okay. It's completely fine. There's some hillbilly idiots, so who gives a shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably better off that. But I mean, what are you gonna do, right? And they're not all black. Like some Majins are actually white.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1 out of 10.
It
It is, yeah, but that's like it reflects the actual, gene pool in Africa. Like, what are you gonna do? A bunch of white zombies in Africa? Like,
well, I guess, yeah. Well, I agree with you, but it's kind of like the game got criticism at the time because you're this big white man and you're shooting black zombies.
Yeah.
It
What
doesn't look
it
great, but I mean, what do you do? It's the air. It's
I mean, what? Just because exactly. So, what are you supposed to do? Like, never ever go to Africa. Just pretend like that country just exists. Like Resident Evil just spans throughout the entire globe, but not Africa. We don't go there. And or like
we don't go there.
or I mean, and to be fair, you do not have to be a big white man. You can also be a fairly muscular black woman shooting down other black people.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I do feel I don't understand what I sort of do, but I don't like how you can only, if you're single player, you can only play as Sheva on subsequent playthroughs. But that was kind of cheap. I myself would have preferred to be able to play as Sheva from the beginning because Chris, he's like a lumbering amount of muscles, which is not really the kind of character I like to play as, although it was funny to punch people in the face. But so yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it's fucking, and there's like a bunch of like black characters supporting you. Like, it's not like, what are you trying to imply? No, literally every other character besides like supporting character, I mean hero, protagonist character besides Chris is black. So I don't know what you're, I guess Jill, but she's kind of a villain in this one. So
yeah, no, I get it. No, look, I obviously I'm messing with you. I don't personally think that, but that was criticism towards it. So it's like, I wonder with today's, how everything is, right? Like everything is so politicized now. Would they do it? Because
maybe they won't. I think there's one reason why they're not gonna remake Resi 5 is because of that. Yeah. I mean, either that or what? I mean, did they change the story? They didn't go to Africa. They actually went to France.
And at that point,
you might have, right?
At that point, at that point, you ought to just make it another Resident Evil, right?
Yeah, it's called Resident 9, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. I agree with you. I'm mostly just yanking your old chain. But I just thought it'd be funny because, especially like, again, the way things are nowadays, man. It's just you don't know how they would approach that, because either way you go about it, it's going to be.
Okay, you know what I'm going to say though? I'm going to say just one thing to the favor of that argument, and that is that it's okay as long as it's clearly just normally African civilians that were clearly turned by the virus. I'm cool with that. Later on, they start wearing like tribal outfits and shit. And I'm like, okay, now you're kind of pushing it now. You have like this, you have like this very tribal mind of shouting at you, with this weird, like big shields and spears going, oh, like come on, come on, like, and like it did explain in our report. In our report, there's like a diary of one of the guys in the village, and they go, oh man, like the men in the village are going insane. They're wearing our old ancestors' outfits. I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, I guess it does give off a vibe, I guess. but it's a bit in poor taste. It's
Yeah,
just a bit in poor taste, you know. I would have avoided that.
yeah.
Um,
It should,
or
it
at
should be
least to
interesting.
make Sheva comment on it. Like Sheva really doesn't give a shit about anything that's going on.
Mm-mm.
Like I mean, neither of them do. Like they make like small comments, you know, but stuff like what would Umbrella be doing here? But they don't say something like, "Oh man, this is terrible. What's happening here?" They don't say nothing about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like you said, maybe poor taste, but I think also too, it's I don't know. It's just one of it's crazy, but you know, I am interested to see if they end up one if we get a remake.
They are gonna ditch the tribal spears and shields for sure,
I would
100%.
say I would say so 100%. I feel like they would do that because like I wouldn't care, but
It's a bit,
you
it's
know
a
how
bit
it
much.
is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I'm glad that you got through it, man. I know it was tough. I know you say you didn't have the best
Yeah.
time, but
And the toughest challenge has to come yet, from what
Well,
I understand.
that's gonna be what it say. Beauty is to the eyes of the beholder, right? You might play Resident
Right.
Evil 6 and really like it.
Ooh,
I don't
imagine
mind
that.
it. I think you'll like Leon's sections. I can say that
Mhm.
confidently, but I
Oh,
don't
by the
know.
way, I just thought I'm not going to Resident 6 yet. I gotta play the DLC, dude. There's like a shit ton of DLC for Resident Evil 5.
Mhm.
So we gotta
I
get through that too.
I actually haven't played those. What there's one where it's like, is it a sequence from like the first Resident Evil that you go back in
Okay.
time and play a sequence like that? Is that one of them?
I don't know. But
Okay.
I've only heard stories. Because okay, I do you know about the Did You Know Gaming, that YouTube channel? They pretty
Mm,
much most like any of the videos is just a bunch of like video game trivia.
okay.
And I
No.
remember watching one about Resident Evil, and they said that it's in this one Resident Evil 5 DLC where you're playing the original Spencer Mansion. If you check the door, like the entrance door, like a few times, you get the original fixed cameras. That's all that I know. So I'm guessing, yeah, that there is a DLC where you play in the original match. Excuse me.
That's cool, but just with updated visuals from Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, exactly, and controls and all that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, yeah. You have to let me know how that is. I've never actually played that before, so I don't really know much about it
Sure
myself,
thing,
to be
yeah.
honest. But yeah, I know. I think just to let you guys know, I think me and Jan have talked about trying to. I would love to fit some Resident Evil into my schedule, man. But just with everything coming out and with everything that's been going on, I'm lucky just to finish the ones that I'm currently working on. I mean,
Dude, one day a new Resident Evil game is gonna come out, and we'll both be talking about it. One day.
Yeah, one day we'll get to a bunch of stuff. I know we got a lot of aspirations and plans for future episodes. It's just, do we have enough time to play the games? Is that what we can talk about it? Because it's just it's a lot, man. I would love to do a Red Dead episode eventually, but it's probably not looking to maybe early next year. The way things are headed. I mean, I don't even know when I'll be able to get. I mean, because I'm working on Red Dead 2, but then Starfield came out, so I took a little break from that. And then whenever you can get to Red Dead 1, and then Red Dead 2, I mean, golly, man, we're looking at maybe not even till summer, of 2024. I mean, it's
Nice.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. It's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. So,
I agree.
but we got some good stuff to come. So thank you for guys for coming to watch us today. We appreciate it as always. Thank you for the 100 subscribers on YouTube. We really appreciate that. That's big time. Hopefully, maybe we can get us up 10 more before the next show. I think that'd be awesome. Might not happen, but either way, we thank you for coming. Check us out anyway, because we got a lot of fun stuff over here. We just sat down today and came up with a few show topics for the next few weeks. So we're going to have some good stuff coming your way. We got Spider-Man. We got Assassin's Creed Mirage. We got Alan Wake 2. We got Starfield right now. Obviously, I know a lot of people are still playing that. I mean, we got a lot of games and a lot of things to talk about, a lot of good movies. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Now it's just, do we have the time to take the time to watch / play this stuff so we can talk about it on here? Is the question. So anyway, Jan, got anything to say to the people? Anything about Resident Evil? You got anything you want to talk about before we get on out of here?
Yeah, no. So guys, trust me on this one. If you're going through a tough time, or just particularly very busy time like me and Dylan are, That's remember you gotta push through it, you gotta punch through it, you know, just
Uh-huh.
as you would punch a boulder. So never forget that. Quote me on that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I give you a standing ovation, but I have no legs. Anyway,
Thank-
but, but no, that's great advice, man. Keep your head up if you're going through a hard time, because we're all going through it, all fighting our own battles. And there's no problem that you have that's not important. Please talk to somebody. Do whatever you need to do. Find happiness so you can keep pushing forward, because we all need that little push. Just like the Joker says, he was already set up to play. I just gave him a little push.
That's very good.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching again. Please like this video, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next one. Stay dead, my friends.